to be talking about the Chinese Exclusion Act during the Gilded Age. For context, the Gilded Age was known as a period of time between the Civil War and the beginning of the 20th century. The Gilded Age experienced an economic boom, namely the prosperous beginning of the Second Industrial Revolution, which basically had an increase in steel and oil production. Now, although the Gilded Age was seen in a positive light in terms of technological and societal development, it had negative implications upon the working class. And I will be discussing the negative implications upon the Chinese working class, specifically also the Chinese Exclusion Act and its implementation. This political cartoon that I have here, it's depicting this white wealthy man who represents the aristocratic population being exploitative to the working class, which is where he's taking the money from those hands and stuff. Now, the Chinese Exclusion Act. Around the 1850s, a wave of Chinese immigrants traveled to the United States to take up jobs not just in gold mines, but also agriculture and factory jobs as well. Chinese workers were crucial to the building of railroads, showing their position in the economy. However, as the rise of the success of the Chinese made its way throughout society, so did anti-Chinese sentiment. The root of this sentiment was in hopes of maintaining a strong white population without the interference of any other races. Passed in 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act was the first and only restrictive U.S. legislature that aimed to prohibit Chinese workers from being able to immigrate to the U.S. on the basis of their nationality. Furthermore, the Chinese Exclusion Act made naturalization an impossibility for Chinese immigrants as well. The Chinese Exclusion Act was the result of the culmination of anti-Chinese sentiment and racial hostility that the Chinese face in society. And here's another political cartoon of this Chinese man being denied access to the Golden Gate of Liberty, which is just to say the United States and its opportunities. Finally, we have the Chinese experience versus white experience. The Chinese immigrants experienced racism and ethnic discrimination. They felt financial pressure to repay loans and had to take any jobs possible, including those that paid with low wages. In society, they were viewed as inferior, as a stain to white America. And after the act, they were not allowed to be naturalized, which is the process in which to become a citizen. Now, as opposed to the wealthy white man, some wealthy white men often participate in unethical practices that used exploitative tactics that benefited them, but at the expense of the working class. An example would be the robber barons. The wealthy also enjoyed a lavish lifestyle of luxury, and families stemming from wealth often bought mansions and just stuff to flaunt their abundance of wealth. And here I have another political cartoon of the US versus the Chinese, and these are my sources.